The Last of Us Episode 4 is out now, and if you guys haven't seen it yet, this is going to be a spoiler-filled discussion, so let's get into it. We pick up with Joel and Ellie as they have now left Bill and Frank's house. They've loaded up on supplies and continue on their journey, and we get to see Joel impart a lot of knowledge to Ellie in this episode, starting with how to siphon fuel from one car to another. He doesn't really know how to explain it, but he does his best. And a little joke like this can easily just kind of pass by as something that's cute and funny, but we'll talk more about that later. When they decide to camp out in the woods at night, Joel is trying to sleep, and Ellie keeps him up, telling him hilarious dad jokes from a pun book that she has. Again, we'll talk more about this scene later. There's a really smart thing that Craig Mazin has done in this episode in the way he has structured his jokes. They feel like lighthearted moments, but this episode mirrors so many of them beautifully later on. And they share a 20-year-old can of Chef Boyardee, and Joel and Ellie share one of their first agreements that it actually tastes pretty good. I also love how apparently the last two big movies that were playing before all this shit went down was Underworld and Matchstick Men. So at least everyone got to see the most underrated Nicolas Cage movie of all time before they became zombies.
Excuse me. Hi.
I'll be right with you, sir.
Things eventually get really messy when they're traveling and they have to turn around and are confronted by some armed people who shoot at them, and a gunfight ensues, causing Ellie to reveal that she has a gun and she uses it to save Joel. And they do something great here because she shoots this guy, but he doesn't die immediately. And Joel decides, nope, this guy's gotta go. He tried to kill me. The guy offers Joel a really nice knife, hoping that that exchange will somehow allow him to live. But what does Joel do? He kills him with it. Not only is that very dark, but I think a lesser writer would have just had Joel pull out his gun and have him shoot the guy. But you don't hear that. You hear the sound effect from Ellie's perspective of this guy being stabbed to death with his own knife, because Joel didn't want to waste a bullet. He's a survivor. He knows exactly what he has to do to keep living. And that means every extra bullet you have is a good thing. And here we meet Kathleen, played by Melanie Lynskey. And she's looking for two people that she has a grudge against for some reason, Sam and Henry. When she finds out that some of her friends were hurt and killed, she doesn't know that it's Joel and Ellie, but it looks like two people did it. And that fits in with what she thinks she's looking for. But what's great about the following scene is that barrier between Joel and Ellie keeps getting broken down. He tells her that someone her age shouldn't have to do what she did. And Ellie reveals that that's not the first time she's done something like that. Joel decides it's time for you to have this gun, and he teaches her how to hold it. And her excitement, especially when he tugs at it and it doesn't release from her hands, is so adorable. They really are doing a great job nailing this chemistry between the two of them, and the fact that Joel is this hardened guy who doesn't want to admit that this girl's kind of nice and she's okay. After Joel and Ellie climb up a massive amount of stairs, they decide to rest on one of these floors, and Joel does a Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible 1 and shakes glass all over the floor so he can hear people if they step in the room while they're sleeping. And we finally get the ultimate dad joke, a diarrhea joke that makes Joel laugh, and finally that barrier is broken down here, and we see them genuinely laughing and feeling good about it. And it ends with Sam and Henry pointing guns at them. Very exciting. Can't wait to see what happens. Apparently next week's episode is going to air a little bit early on Friday because of the Super Bowl, so that's pretty cool. Now, I said I'd go back to the beginning and talk about a few things, because what Mazin has done so well with this episode is he has very subtly created moments in which we could get to this laughing at the end and have it make sense and have it feel real to us on an emotional level. All the way down to that scene where he's siphoning fuel out of that car and he can't quite explain it, and Ellie realizes that, and he has to admit that he doesn't really know how it works, he's just using fancy words. That's important. That little moment is all part of the journey. And then when they're eating Chef Boyardee together and he's like, I actually agree, this is really good. Okay, we've got common ground. It's over Chef Boyardee, but hey, that's something, right? In the car, she finds one of Bill or Frank's special magazines and pretends like she doesn't know what any of it means, which takes him by surprise because she has a great sense of humor. And the first campout scene, Joel is trying to sleep, and Ellie is the one who starts the conversation. But in the last scene where they're sleeping, Joel is actually the one that starts the conversation, even though Ellie was trying to sleep, showing that he is ready to potentially create a real friendship with her. This is really smart writing, and it's little moments like this that go unnoticed, I think, for a lot of people. Because there's this thing I've noticed nowadays where people are using the word filler, I think, in an inappropriate way. It kind of reminds me how people say pan for every single camera movement when they're talking about camera movements, even though there's a million other terms you could use, but everything's a pan, even if it's like tilting up or tilting down or booming up. It's a pan. They panned over there. They pan. Anyway, the way people talk about filler now is it seems like a lot of people complain if it's not like exactly the story. Like if it's not just our characters doing the thing, it's filler. And that's just not true. Characterization is so important. You have to see people doing these small things, living, existing, to understand things that they do later because you have been in their shoes in small moments and big moments. Things like this aren't always filler. If we go away from Joel and Ellie and meet Kathleen and the things that she's dealing with, we don't know what we're going to get in the next few episodes, and we might need to really see these moments to understand things that happen later. It's all part of a whole. If you're an anime fan, you know what the fuck filler is. Filler is very real to anime fans. But there's this thing I'm noticing lately. If it goes away from Joel and Ellie, like episode 3, it's just filler. No, I mean, like, that was important. You need to feel this world, understand how it affects people in it. This episode was great. I loved it. I'm having such a good time on this journey with these characters. Every episode is so well crafted and structured from a screenplay perspective. Mason truly is a master at this. And it's so funny to see his journey from like superhero movie and parody movies to Chernobyl and this. Like, he knows exactly what the fuck he's doing. And with actors like Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey making these moments feel so alive, I just can't wait to watch more. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.